have a very brief. What's brief? What do you have that's brief? Give us something that's brief. Something really brief. That's not brief, and neither's that. You know it's not brief. You're just trying to get into the chair. The other day, we said we have a very brief time, and a person came up and wanted to know the meaning of life.
I already know that. I really wanted to sit in this chair, but that's not my question. So I really want specifically to know what to do when I just start to feel negative emotion, because I don't want the car to go down the hill. Well, I want to stand in front of it, but I don't know what to do.
The nice thing is you'll get better and better at catching it at earlier subtle stages, because sometimes if you're bipping along and you've got the negative emotion has got quite a bit of momentum before you're aware of it, then there's not anything you can do. That's why we say you've fallen out of an airplane, you have no parachute, hang on, it'll be over in a little while. Just get a good night's sleep and take another run at it tomorrow is a better way to approach it.
Right, I understand that part.
But
sometimes I feel it earlier and I want to know what to do.
If you're catching it in the early subtle stages, consciously say to yourself, I have 17 seconds. I have 17 seconds to redirect my thought, which doesn't mean choose the other end of that, because if there's enough momentum going, choosing the other end of that is usually counterproductive. Then you're efforting. Just choose something that is easy for you to have that good feeling thought about. Esther has been going, as soon as she discovers it, and then she'll go 16, 15, 14, 13, and something about counting distracts her from whatever it is. And for a while she chewed on her arm, as if she couldn't say it out loud. Maybe she couldn't think it out loud. In other words, it's just a sort of statement to self, not intending to go further in this direction. And after a while, it will be easy for you to. So. We're talking about momentum again, aren't we?
Yeah.
And so,
effort. It seems like everything is
let us
effort.
put it this
Getting
way.
on the disc is effort.
Let us put it to you this way. If you have to apply effort, you've already let the momentum get away from you. Take a nap.
Yes.
The effort, if it feels like effort, then you are usually opening the pipeline toward what you don't want, even though you think you're opening the pipeline toward what you do want. Because the effort factor itself is the indicator of that. Ease and flow is what you're reaching for. This has to be upending your whole human existence, because so often you think that effort is, you say to your children, apply yourself here. Give me your attention. I want to see something happening. But we want you to say, get on the high-flying disc and then take out the garbage. Get on the high-flying disc and then. Get on the high-flying disc and then. So ask your question again. What do I do when I am aware that I'm having some negative emotion? Anything you can to make it fun. Laugh at yourself about it. Here I go again with that. I'm getting better and better at this. In fact, I'm pretty good at this. I'm glad I'm so sensitive that I'm catching this in the early subtle stages. This is not the big deal that I've been making it out to be. Standing here, I realize that it's simpler. No big, hairy thing is going to happen. You'll also begin to discover, you're really going to like this, that as you hang around in these higher frequencies, that sometimes things are going to occur to you that you can now beneficially do something about. And here's what we mean by this. Sometimes people will say, we have several wonderful affirmation card decks. Some pointed toward money, some pointed toward physical well-being, some just pointed toward general well-being. And so sometimes people will sit and affirm with cards or with sayings or with something that causes them to focus. And we say, do 100% of your affirming from that high-flying disc. So then recently we've been talking about this analogy about the stream in Texas at the Abraham Hicks property, and how the pond got all cloudy. Esther couldn't see the fish. And so it was discovered that the water was going out of the pond and it was going into the filter. The filter was stressing and struggling and efforting and trying to put the water back into the pond, but those pipes were clogged and it couldn't put it back in. So they just laid new pipes at first on top of the ground. And then once they were sure that that was the solution, then they just left the original pipes buried deep in the ground, and they just laid the new pipes. And now the stream and the pond are clear again. So we began talking about laying new pipes, establishing new beliefs. Start with a simple thought and then allow momentum to build with it. So we are saying, do 100% of your affirming from that good feeling place. And if you don't feel good, don't effort your affirmations, because when you say, I am a very prosperous being, money flows easily to me, things are always working out for me. When you feel like that, don't affirm, because you're not affirming what you mean to affirm, you're affirming how you feel. And using what you think are positive sounding words. And so it's really, when you say, I'm aware that I'm not feeling good, we say, then you're really on your way, because knowing that you don't feel good lets you know what to do next. If you don't feel good, do everything you can to just sort of hunker down. Don't get out there. The first thing you can do is stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. And don't practice it in your mind. Every now and again, Esther will catch herself in a thought, and she'll think, well, that is not productive and not necessary. That thought is not necessary. And sometimes she'll say, I'm just making stuff up. I'm just making stuff up that doesn't have anything to do with anything. Why would I make something like that up?
Yes, that's what I do.
Why would I make something like that up? Why would I say somebody unpleasant's probably going to sit next to me on the airplane? Why would I carve out that path? Why would I carve out that path? Because one time somebody unpleasant sat on me next to the airplane, and I remembered it, and then I talked about it, and then I talked about it some more, and then I talked about it some more, and then I talked about it some more, and then I talked about it some more. So that's the momentum I've got going. So when you catch yourself in that kind of momentum, just stop and laugh about it and say, is this something that I want? And if it isn't, then say, then why am I carving out? Why do I have the diggers? Why do I have the road graders? Why do I have the pipeline crew? Why am I digging out a trench or a pathway to something that I do not want? What is the rational reason for it? There's no rational reason for it. I must just be doing it out of habit. Well, what's the point in that? Well, there is no point in that. So I think I'm not going to do that anymore. So now you've gotten very general, haven't you?
Right.
Now why would I create a pathway to something that I do not want? Just ask yourself that. Well, out of habit. Well, do I need to do that? No, I don't think I need to do that. Do I have the power to guide my own mind? Yeah, I have the power to guide my own mind. Sometimes it's easier than others. I'm just going to let that subject lie dormant. I'm just going to let that subject peter out. I'm just going to let that pipe close up completely. And I'm going to open some other pipes. Ooh, shiny.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, the idea that the pipe's still there. It's just laying there. It doesn't matter. I don't feel guilty. The pipe did not feel guilty.
All kinds of dormant thoughts that you could activate if you wanted to, but why activate something that doesn't feel good when you have the ability to activate something that does feel good? And once you play with this a little while and you start to notice the momentum of things that you've been asking for making their ways to you, and you start making lists of the things that are happening, things that other people might be calling coincidence. Well, it's a cooperative incident, so coincidence really is the right word. It's just not in the way that they mean it. It's not happenstance. It's not luck. It's a creation that is its law of attraction responding to the vibration that you've got going. But as you start doing this on purpose and then taking note of what's coming, you begin to get this synergy going, this momentum, this inertia, where you begin to feel your own invincibility. And then you feel like you're waving a magic wand. It's a really good time for a segment of refreshment.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so the first thing I want to play with you with is how do dreams and physical reality kind of do we use the same components as far as when I'm dreaming, I know things happen right now. I don't have time to second guess what I'm doing. I just do them because it's what I want to do. And down here, I get that same inspiration and I just start second guessing it. So my question would be dreams. Am I do I not have resistance up there in my dream state to where I don't care and I don't second guess and I just do because it makes me happy and that's what I want to do? Lucid dreaming, it's becoming very fun for me because I don't have to play by the rules down here, so to speak, and I can just be myself.
Well, what you're saying is accurate. We want to start with the important premise that what you think and feel and what manifests are the same. In other words, you create your reality, but you also create your dream reality. So there is less resistance in the dream. So what do you think about, does that apply with good dreams or not good dreams?
Well, the past 3 months since I started Abraham and meditating and I'm climbing the ladder of positive momentum every day, and things are going great down here, but I just feel when I'm dreaming it's playtime because I don't have that resistance. And not to say that I'm not creating good things down here, because I am.
Well, there is less resistance in your dreamscape because you're not bound by the limitations that you feel about time and that sort of thing. But so everything that you are saying is accurate. We just want to, so let's put it into the framework of what we've been saying here today. So whatever pipes you have laid come to fruition faster in dream state than in wake state. How about that? That's a good way to say it. And the reason for that, so we want to clear something up. So if a pipeline is open to something that is wanted, would you say that therefore there's resistance to unwanted?
Not if I open the pipe, the new one.
But think about it. Allowing wanted is like resisting unwanted. And allowing unwanted is like resisting wanted. You get what you think about. So let's say the pipelines that you've laid based upon the thoughts that you've been thinking can more quickly come to fruition in your dream state than in your wake state, which is a good thing. We talk about in your wake state you have this buffer of time, which gives you the opportunity to direct your thoughts more deliberately.
Okay, well, another question. Deja vu. It's been happening a lot more. It's happened my entire life, and I'm sure everyone else too. But it's becoming more prominent to where, when I'm in the deja vu, the more I'm in it, the more it'll reinforce itself. So, what is deja vu? First off,
what it is, if you accept the premise, and we've been hammering away at it all day, so we want you to be there. If you accept the premise that everything that becomes a reality was a vibrational reality first. In other words, there has been a vibrational version of it before there is before it manifests in a way that you can see it, hear it, smell it, taste, and touch it. So since that reality exists and you've been hanging around on that high-flying disc, which means, as our friend was talking about her Cambodian babies, she knew it. So as you have been practicing that frequency so that it is familiar to you, so that you own it, then you have foresight. Then when it actually materializes, or you allow yourself to receive the full realization of it, it's familiar to you because you knew it on a vibrational level before you translated it on the specific see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it level. Best definition and description of deja vu so far. Yeah.
Thanks for that. One more thing before I go. I just wonder about other physical realities and kind of not to really get into the specifics of it, but generally, what would they think of Earth as far as what images would they conjure up, or specifically of other physical realities? How would they compare themselves to Earth?
The most important thing to understand is that no one can see it as you see it. It's like you sort of kind of had to be there. So in the same way that here you are as a specific personality in a very vast human population, but you don't have accurate viewpoint of anyone else, of anyone else. You just don't know what's going on with anyone in the way that you know. In other words, your perception is uniquely your own. So in a similar way, other physical realities, you're not intertwining with one another because you are different vibrational frequencies. Generally speaking, however, they are living by all of the same laws, these powerful law of attraction laws that you are.